I'm David. We're talking Survivor, David's versus Goliath.
Yes, episode 2.
Yes, which was our first travel council.
Yes, finally.
We'll get to that, but thankfully we got one this episode.
Right.
So now at the beginning of the episode, it's just raining. It's all the time. The rain is relentless.
We find out it's a cyclone.
Yeah.
These people are like shivering.
Shivering or trying to like start fire and everything's too damp.
It's too damp for fire. They were given a thingy.
Yeah, a flint.
And now they can't even make fire because the wood is too wet.
They're all so demoralized. There's one woman, I don't even know who, but she's like
nightmare.
Already shaking and like just sort of staring blankly off into space. I'm like, whoa, these people could get hypothermia. What are they gonna do? So production responds and Jeff sends them all a fire-making kit.
Production's like, we don't want people to die.
They get tarps to use as protection. So they all survive this cyclone, thank God.
Well, we also start seeing, like, while they're trying to survive, we see a little bit of Goliath and David.
Yes.
Like, we see them at camp.
Right.
We see that people are concerned about Dan and his little showman's vibe.
Oh, right. Yes. And obviously, like, Natalie is, like, being a bee on the Goliath side. You know, they're doing this sort of typical Survivor thing where they, like, set up who might be the targets on each side if they go to tribal.
We see Jeremy find Dan's idol.
So, I don't know if it's Kara or Cara, but she called Dan out, Kara did, and she was like, don't keep it in your jacket, like you should bury it. And he was like, nobody's gonna know. It's like hidden in plain sight. That's the best place to hide something.
Okay, in theory I get that.
Sure.
But how many times can you just like accidentally like grab someone, oh that's not my jacket, or like whatever.
Right.
Accidentally stumble upon your idol? No.
Also, you're playing Survivor. People are like constantly like,
I don't think he is. I don't know Dan is.
All right. Well, Jeremy is.
Yes.
Because he's like, I don't see Dan. I'm gonna go through his jacket.
Okay, who goes through stuff? I mean, it probably is fairly common, but like, whoa.
You gotta look. Who knows what's hiding in there?
That's
and sure enough, there's an idol.
Yep.
So then I think Jeremy tells Mike, right?
Yes.
So the two of them are kind of pairing up a little bit. They're kind of buddy-buddy. And so they both know now that Dan has an idol.
And we already had those two girls who knew. So now 4 people that we know of know of this idol.
So that feels like it's gonna come back to bite Dan a little bit.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So then we go to the immunity challenge, right? Or no?
On the David side.
Right, I forgot.
We get another idol.
Yes. So Davey's just sort of like out in the jungle, milling about.
I loved this little segment.
So cute.
How adorable was he? He was all like, I'm a provider.
Yeah.
This
is gonna be my role.
People.
Yeah. Yeah,
he was like so into it.
Because I think he's the one who got the octopus, right? And he was like, that was so great that I was able to do that. Like, I'm going to make that my strategy.
How cute.
Now, then he's like looking through the jungle and he's like, that looks out of place. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know how much time you spend in a jungle so that you would know that something's out of place, but he sees...
You have to know that. That seems to be a thing, though, on Survivor. They look around and they're like, that tree looks different. So there must be something to that.
I guess you sort of get a sense of your surroundings and then you can sort of tell when something's amiss. So I don't know if he saw the string that was on the plant or what, but he sort of follows this thing and then he finds this package with an idol in it and he just was so adorable and excited and he doesn't tell anyone and he's not with anyone when he found it.
That's the way to do it.
So hopefully he keeps it a secret because I'm starting to like Davey a lot. Yes. He's great.
Oh, the fact that he was just kind of loving it.
Yeah.
That makes you love him, you know?
Absolutely.
Now we're going to immunity.
Yes. So now the rain has stopped.
But
now
the rain has stopped and it's record heat or something?
Like blisteringly hot.
Oh. So, this is why you don't go on Survivor.
No, you guys. No.
I can't do
extreme
weather.
Meant for humans, okay? They get there and they have to do this challenge where one person has to construct this ladder one rung at a time and then they have to go on the ocean, come back to a puzzle, sort of a typical Survivor challenge. Goliath.
Winner gets reward.
Yeah, immunity and
then
reward.
Obviously immunity.
Yeah.
So you're picking one person to do this first leg. Okay, who are we picking? I'm thinking, let's pick someone with some good upper body strength. Because you have to pull something from below you and put it into a new little rung.
I also would say like maybe pick someone with some height because you've got to like reach up and like knock a thing off at the top. So you're looking for, you know, things like that. And then the David's pick B.
Okay, as she's struggling.
Now look.
And Goliath is like way ahead. I'm going, really, B?
And I'm like...
Is she our strongest?
I'm sure she's capable, okay? Physically, I'm not saying that she's a woman, don't pick her.
Right.
But it just obviously, as we saw play out, she maybe wasn't the best choice for that because it's just taking her a lot longer than Alec.
I, too, don't want to put anyone down for being a female.
Right.
But I do believe females have less upper body strength than males, just in general.
In general, if we're taking the average, okay?
So I feel like I would have put a man there just for just basics.
So I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the David's tribe and I'm like, is she the best option? Like, was Pat their best asset physically and then he got injured and he had to get medevaced and now they're screwed?
Maybe,
I don't know.
I mean, he was probably too big to do that anyway.
That's
you do
true.
want someone lean.
But they've got a Davy, they've got a Carl on that side. Even Christian, like he's a nerd, but he might have some more upper body strength. I don't know what the strategy was.
Probably not. But anyway, here we are.
Right.
They're falling way behind. They are about to be lapped by Goliath, who is now already coming back from like getting all of their things from in the ocean.
Yeah.
And then they finally start heading out to the water.
Yes.
Now we're ending with a puzzle, and I'm like,
which
stranger things have happened.
Exactly. The puzzle sometimes is the great equalizer where one tribe can catch up, even though the other tribe has a huge lead.
And we've got the puzzle master on David. But this isn't just a puzzle. You're also balancing.
Yeah.
So, no.
No. Sorry,
There was no hope.
No.
Goliath just creamed them. Yeah. And then I started going, oh,
Boy,
no.
Yeah. It's like they couldn't even edit it to make it seem close, which is not great. And then I'm like, is this going to be a repeat of last season where the Malolos lost all the time and were just picked off one by one?
It really felt in this episode, it felt so uneven.
Yeah, it did.
Because I originally, as we discussed, thought the Davids had like different upbringing, but were still like strong, successful people. We thought in the end.
We thought.
But I don't.
I'm starting to not think that.
I'm concerned.
Yeah. Now, the Davids are headed to tribal council. There are no injuries happening, so we're going.
We're actually going.
They're starting to discuss strategy. Now, when we get back to camp, immediately B, who one could argue lost the challenge.
This challenge single-handedly.
Now she's the one giving a pep talk to the tribe, like,
which is lovely. Thank you.
It really is nice. Yes, she's trying to stay positive, even though we lost twice. Like, don't lose sight of like the bigger picture here. We are not like down and out. Let's try to stay positive.
But coming out of that, they're like, okay, yeah, but you know, we need to win comps. So let's get rid of the weakest link.
Right. Somehow
B is not the weakest link.
Right.
Okay. But Lear says the name.
Yeah.
She is supposedly the weakest link, says B and Carl, is it?
Yes. And sort of Jessica too, right? That threesome?
Yeah.
B, Carl, and Jessica.
Well, Elizabeth, our good friend from the country.
She likes Lyrsa. So she may not want Lyrsa to go quite yet.
Yes. So she talks to Lyrsa. She's like, your name's being thrown out.
And like, Lyrsa's like,
what are we going to do?
What?
Yeah.
How am I the weakest? Like, I won us the first challenge on day one with Christian.
Girl, I'm with you. I'm arguing the same thing from here.
Yeah. So she's upset, but Elizabeth's like, look, I'm going to talk to some people. Don't worry about it. So Elizabeth goes to work.
Well, before she goes to work, they decide on
Jessica.
Because they like wavered through some names and they decide Jessica is, I don't want to call her a social threat yet.
Right, because who knows?
But she's friendly with a few different people. It's really what it boiled down to.
Basically, Jessica has two friends.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's not good. She's the link between B and Carl, and so we got to get her out.
Yes.
Really, it's just they're looking for a reason to send someone off the island.
Right.
And, you know, once they land on Jessica, it's like, that's something we can run with. So then she goes to Gabby.
She goes to Gabby, who's already just not feeling great because
people won't talk to her.
They're not giving her a lot of information, which is a valid sign, Gabby. Like, if people aren't talking to you, they don't really trust you.
That's right.
I know your name's not being tossed around, but you're still not in with them.
Down the line, you're not in their alliance.
So Gabby gets the story about Jess. She goes to Christian because we saw that they're kind of aligned.
Yep.
And so they're talking.
Yeah.
Then Christian goes to Nick because now we saw they're kind of aligned.
Yeah, they have this Mason-Dixon alliance, which is sort of a problematic alliance name, but whatever, let's go with it.
He just wants to name things.
He just loves it.
Okay.
He loves it.
So here we are.
Yeah.
And it looks like going into this tribal, we might have a flip.
Yeah, there might be a blind side.
Can't tell.
Yeah.
But we get there.
So now this tribal, I was mentioning this to Sarah before we started filming, but I'm like, this seems real intense, this setup. Like, it's not just like you're at the fire and you walk across a bridge to a little platform and vote. There's a whole temple. They have to walk up the stairs. It seems a little more secluded than usual. I don't know if that was a thing where maybe they want to like get people away for these votes. Who knows? But it's a very like ominous tribal ceremony setup. And Christian is sort of the star of this tribal ceremony.
Boy, he seems to be the star of this whole episode.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you going to be the star of the season, Christian? Because I'm on board with that.
I'm on board, yes.
So we're talking, of course, we're talking to Lyrsa, because we all know she's the Zorga. Producer's in his ear. And I thought it was interesting that, who was it, was like, you can't start playing at tribal. You have to start back at camp. And I was like, oh girl, aren't you about to be surprised?
I think that might have been Jessica who was the one who was surprised.
Jessica? Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it was a lot of like, it's sort of early going in the game, and I think people are like feeling confident, right? Yeah. I'm on the side that like knows what's what. Yeah. So there was a lot of like throwing out of like things where people are just feeling comfortable and like...
It was an interesting vibe to see because we saw them all bond and we're like, oh, they're this big family. And they even brought that up, talking about like how the storm sort of brought them together, the struggle has brought them together. But then at the same time, they're like, but also we about to cut someone.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, all right, still here to play.
Yes, right. They're like, someone's going home and we're not sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then the vote comes down to it.
Yeah, the vote comes down to it. And, you know, per editing, we don't know if we've actually flipped.
No.
Or if Christian and Nick decide to, like, take the safe route and not, you know, rock the boat quite yet.
Right.
But no, the boat is a-rocking.
And Jessica's out.
And
she's
Jessica's
overboard.
like hearing her name and she's like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Shocked faces. B's like, what just happened?
Whoa, yeah. And it was close. It was 5-4.
Sure.
They got exactly the number of votes they needed to flip it. And she's blindsided and she's gone. And she kind of took it in stride. She was like, in her exit interview, she was like, look, it's sort of an honor to like be thought of as such a threat. And I'm like, girl, you went home second. But like now, it was great to see this first tribal council because the line has been drawn on the David side, right? Like there's the 5. And then there's the 3 who thought they were maybe the 5-6, but turns out they're just the 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, they may never win anything, which concerns me.
Right.
But they're definitely not a full-on lovey family.
No.
There are definite divisions.
Yeah. And
people are definitely playing and underestimating other people.
That's right. Yeah. And I think that, you know, on the David side, the social thing really came out, I thought. It was really interesting to see, like, Elizabeth use her connections with people. And, like, it was sort of just this, like, ripple effect. And like, one person went to one person, went to one person, and slowly, one by one, they formed this alliance. It wasn't like they all sat down in a group and were like, we're the 5, we're sticking together.
Right.
It was these individual relationships that really paid off.
Yes.
So that was interesting to see.
So we should also touch on Goliath a little bit.
Yes.
Obviously, they don't go to tribal, so you don't see things play out.
Right.
But we did see the 3 girls sort of realize they each have a dude in their pocket.
Right, so they're like definitely in control.
So they think they can run the guys, and then they can sort of run the whole shebang.
Right.
Well, that'll be interesting to see, because that might be valid. I mean, Dan is snowed for sure.
For sure.
And then we also see the Natalie drama.
Yes. Now, they sort of set her, like we said, they set her up as this target early on. Jeremy sort of like pulls her aside and is like, you need to calm down. Like, people are talking like you're the target. And she's like, you're wrong. She's like, I get along with everybody. And
she legitimately did hear she was a target.
Yes,
and
she did.
Didn't know, like, the fact that she had no clue.
Right.
Jeremy's so right. Like, she doesn't have self-awareness.
No.
She's barking orders, being rude to people, and thinks she gets along with everyone.
Right.
So when she finally hears that her name's being thrown around, she, like, goes on attack, which is obviously not helpful.
Right.
And she's like, my name, what you coming after me?
Right.
Like, two individuals.
Yeah.
So that's when Jeremy steps in, and she won't have it. She won't listen to him. No. He's, like, trying to just give her real advice.
Yeah,
like,
he's
girl,
like,
I'm here to help you.
Saying you do not have self-awareness, and she goes, you're wrong. I do. And it's amazing to watch because we're seeing that Jeremy is 100% right and she can't see it at all.
And he's trying to help her. And I loved his little statement of like, she has a husband of 24 years, which means someone loves her for who she is. She ain't gonna change. And I was like,
so smart.
That was really aware.
Yes,
that was a great statement.
Yeah.
Why? Why would she change? She got a husband sticking with her.
Right. And she's a CEO.
She can pay everybody else. She barks at them and then she pays their salary. Like, that's how that works.
Yeah. But not on Survivor, so she might have a rude awakening. But who knows? Because, like we've said already, the Goliaths might just win out to the merge, and then who knows what happens at the merge. She might be protected by the
strong team.
Yeah.
She might stick around just because people are like,
I mean,
she's a buffer, you know, she can protect me.
I mean, I'm watching it and I'm thinking like, I would not be able to stand her in person, but she is fun to watch on the show. She's a great character.
She's great because, like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? And, like, how are you not aware of how people are, like, reacting to you?
Oh, my God.
Everyone's, like, rolling their eyes at you.
Very
and you
interesting.
can't even tell.
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
Yes, this is episode 2.
Yes.
Are the Davids going to ever win anything?
I hope so.
I
For
know,
my sake,
right?
really.
I
Like,
know.
I'm a David, so could you win something on my behalf, please?
Okay. I don't know that you're a David, but just because your name
I'm just
is
literally
David.
a David, yeah.
You guys tell us what you think. I mean, Christian's the star.
Yeah.
Natalie's a star in a different way.
Yes, right.
But what's going to happen?
Yeah, let us know, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.